We are in a period of what is known as the Great Resignation. Our world of work is evolving and people leaving their jobs is an all-time high right now. And today we have a special guest who is finding ways to positively engage employees in ways that has never been done before. Kelsey Joy Buell with the Burnout Prevention Project has some insight on how we can create a great retention in our workplaces instead. That sounds fantastic. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited for you to tell us a little bit more about this. So first of all, Kelsey, you've got some expertise in this field. Tell us what you do and how, as a former recruiter, that you have recognized these qualities in people lately.
Absolutely. Well, so as you mentioned, I used to be a recruiter and I interviewed thousands of people, and what I realized is all of a sudden, halfway through the interview, they would lean in and they would tell me, Kelsey, I'm just feeling really burned out. And so my background has led me to this passion for helping others understand, how do we look and notice signs of burnout and how do we prevent that from happening. And so now my whole life mission is to really help people love their jobs more, because I think there's a stat that 50% or more of Americans are open to leaving their job and unhappy.
Yeah, and I think something was on this morning too on the news a little bit about that and how they're leaving their jobs too without somewhere else to go. But that's a whole nother story. So, but working from home, we've got that going on. Not as many people are willing to work anymore, and so then those that are working, they kind of have an overload. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. People are starting to be stretched too thin. It's very common that, especially in certain professional departments, that I think of mortgage, for example, there's just been such an influx of certain industries and being just completely stretched thin and having to take on more work because so many employees are leaving the workforce.
Right, right. Ugh. So you have this burnout project, or burnout prevention project rather, excuse me. So that is coming up. Or it's ongoing really with you. I mean, and you are speaking to people as sort of a motivational speaker, different groups. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, so the Burnout Prevention Project we started this year in February.
Okay.
I just saw this as this huge need, and really we're doing what I call building one bridge at a time. And so back in the spring, we did a 6-week program, and that was specifically for high achieving women. We've also done quite a few workshops for businesses, mainly corporate organizations that just want to get their employees back together, whether it's in person or virtual, and talk about things such as, what does redefining winning look like?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing that we talk about. And then coming up soon in January, we have a goal setting summit. So that's going to be really, really fun, specifically for women. Women is our niche.
I was going to say, what is your primary focus?
Yeah, so our primary target audience tends to be what I call women who are stuck in the middle. So they're not maybe the CEO of an organization, they're not necessarily entry level, but they're probably a manager of people, and they're getting burned out because not only are they managing people, but they're having to report up, and then on top of that, they're probably a mom with kids and balancing.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah, there's so much. So that's the target.
That's the target. That's wonderful. And I think so many people, women, can relate to this, so that are listening out there, and whether they're at home now, stay-at-home moms, or sometime they're going to get back out there in the workforce too. So this can benefit them. Perhaps they are anyway, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's a maternity leave right now that hopefully are listening, and they really can take advantage of something from you here.
Well, and burnout is something that it doesn't just happen in the workplace.
I know.
It happens in all areas of life, and
Yes.
I call it kind of a continuum.
Yes.
You're either moving towards burnout or you're moving away from burnout.
Okay.
So what are those tiny steps if you start to feel that mental, physical, emotional exhaustion? Just thinking about, what are some small things such as movement? Can I get out and take a walk? Or can I actually take 5 minutes to eat my food instead of eating and checking my email at the same time?
That's a whole nother story,
Yes.
right?
So
I mean, we could go on and on about the whole, we need to probably shut down some days, right? And shut down some of the, the technology that we're on, especially, the social media and so forth.
Zoom fatigue.
That's
a
goodness,
big thing.
that's so true.
Yeah.
So primary focus, as you said, was females in the workforce, but it's really across the board. Because I did notice you've had some men involved, and you worked with some other businesses too. So coming up, anything else that besides focused on women?
Well, I think just again in the corporate setting, I'm not naive to the fact that men experience these challenges too. And so I continue to be pulled into the workspace both with just females, but also with just groups of individuals, whether it's male, female, the sorts. And so it's really been great to be able to help our community and help businesses engage their employees and bring some workshops to them.
Yes, well, we're very excited to have you, and I think we can continue this conversation as well and bring in your partner in crime,
Yes,
Grace.
Grace. Oh my goodness. So
Yes.
Grace supports me and she's amazing.
Wonderful. Well, Kelsey, where can people get in touch with you if they want to set something up for their business?
Well, I would say LinkedIn is one of the easiest
Okay.
ways.
Okay.
Kelsey Joy Buell on LinkedIn, or we do have a website, theburnoutpreventionproject.com. So really, we're all over social media online.
Yes.
It's pretty easy to find us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today. Great information.
Thank you, Heidi.
Yes. All right. Coming up on today's show, the 2022 SUV of the year.